Take care what you say before a wall, as you cannot tell who may be behind it. Publish not men's secret faults, for by disgracing them you make yourself of no repute. Keep belly lightly loaded, if the mind would wisdom see, for bodies crammed to bursting, make empty souls to be. The bad fortune of the good turns their faces up to heaven, the good fortune of the bad bows their heads down to the earth. Better is the sinner who hath thoughts about God, than the saint who hath only the show of sanctity. Whoever interrupts the conversation of others to make a display of his fund of knowledge, makes notorious his own stock of ignorance. Patience accomplishes its object, while hurry speeds to its ruin. Whoever has his foe at his mercy, and does not kill him, is his own enemy. Whenever you argue with another wiser than yourself in order that others may admire your wisdom, they will discover your ignorance. Whoever gives advice to a heedless man is himself in need of advice. Have patience, everything is difficult before it is easy. When a man appreciates only eating and sleeping, what excellence has he over the reptiles? The remedy against want is to moderate your desires. Holiness comes by holy deeds, not starving flesh of daily needs. The hand of liberality is stronger than the arm of power. The true disciple should aim to live for the gospel rather than to die for it. God gives sleep to the bad, in order that the good may be undisturbed. Anger that has no limit causes terror, and unseasonable kindness does away with respect. Be not so severe as to cause disgust, nor so lenient as to make people presume. I fear God, and next to God, I mostly fear them that fear him not. A little beauty is preferable to much wealth. There is a difference between him who clasped his mistress in his arms, and him whose eyes are fixed on the door expecting her. Be not in the desire of thine own ease. Kings stand more in need of the company of the intelligent than the intelligent do of the society of kings. A lovely face is the solace of wounded hearts and the key of locked-up gates. He who is a slave to his stomach seldom worships God. A man is insensible to the relish of prosperity until he has tasted adversity. Do good even to the wicked, it is as well to shut a dog's mouth with a crumb. That which is not allotted the hand cannot reach, what is allotted you will find wherever you may be. The stranger has no friend unless it is a stranger. A peace-mingling falsehood is preferable to a mischief-stirring truth. The sea does not contain all the pearls, the earth does not enclose all the treasures, and the flint stone does not enclose all the diamonds, since the head of man encloses wisdom. Shut the door of that house of pleasure which you hear resounding with the loud voice of a woman. He who is indifferent to the suffering of others is a traitor to that which is truly human. To tell a falsehood is like the cut of a saber, for though the wound may heal, the scar of it will remain. Now that another is suffering pain at thy hand, trust not that thy heart shall be exempt from affliction. He who learns, and makes no use of his learning, is a beast of burden with a load of books. Does the ass comprehend whether he carries on his back a library or a bundle of faggots? Two orders of mankind are the enemies of church and state, the king without clemency, and the holy man without learning. Be thou good thyself, and let people speak evil of thee. It is better than to be wicked, and that they should consider thee as good. Liberty is of more value than any gifts, and to receive gifts is to lose it. Be assured that men most commonly seek to oblige thee only that they may engage thee to serve them. People are crying up the rich and variegated plumage of the peacock, and he is himself blushing at the sight of his ugly feet. It is better to break off 1,000 friendships than to endure the sight of a single enemy. Reveal not every secret you have to a friend, for how can you tell but that friend may hereafter become an enemy? And bring not all mischief you are able to upon an enemy, for he may one day become your friend. Nothing is so good for an ignorant man as silence, and if he was sensible of this, he would not be ignorant. Be not so severe as to cause shyness, nor so clement as to encourage boldness. A tree, freshly rooted, may be pulled up by one man on his own. Give it time, and it will not be moved, even with a crane. A dog will never forget the crumb thou gavest him, though thou mayst afterward throw 100 stones at his head. A wise man among the ignorant is as a beautiful girl in the company of blind men. I fear God the most, but after him, I fear those who don't fear him. You who feel no pain at the suffering of others, it is not fitting for you to be called human. Whatever makes an impression on the heart seems lovely in the eye. Virtue is in the mind, not in the appearance. Every leaf of the tree becomes a page of the book, once the heart is opened and it has learned to read. None can be so true to your secret as yourself. It's no virtue to gain the whole world, just gain the heart of one person. Have patience, all things are difficult before they become easy. An enemy to whom you show kindness becomes your friend. I have never seen a man lost who was on a straight path. Whoever acquires knowledge but does not practice it is as one who plows but does not sow. If a gem falls into the mud, it is still valuable. If dust ascends to heaven, it remains valueless. Forgiveness is commendable, but apply not ointment to the wound of an oppressor. Make no friendship with an elephant keeper if you have no room to entertain an elephant. A traveler without knowledge is a bird without wings. When the belly is empty, the body becomes spirit, and when it is full, the spirit becomes the body. It is safer to be silent than to reveal one's secret to anyone, and tell him not to mention it. A grateful dog is better than an ungrateful man. A man of virtue, judgment, and prudence speaks not until there is silence. Whoever recounts to you the faults of your neighbor will doubtless expose your defects to others. However much you study, you cannot know without action. A donkey laden with books is neither an intellectual nor a wise man. Empty of the essence, what learning has he whether upon him is firewood or book?